Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Dollars. Welcome back to the channel. It's another day, another dollar video. This time I'm going to be reacting to Trap Geek's new video. Well, not that new, but his latest one. Simple City verse 37. Battle for the capital. Now, I assume this has something to do with Washington, D.C. And I know Washington, D.C. is crazy over there. There's a lot of shootings and, you know, it's just bad over there. And there's not a lot of people that be talking about it. But we're going to check this one out and see what he got to say about this. I know some of y'all have requested me to do this one, so it's been a minute. This video been out for a while, and it's time, you know, we do for a Trap Geek reaction, so let's check it out, see what he's saying.
Besides the music, you're getting a lot of attention on the internet. I did my research on you. It's another guy, No Savage, he lit just like you. People making it seem like it's an issue though. Is it being hyped up or everything cool?
Man, they dragging that shit. It ain't nothing.
It ain't really nothing?
Ain't nothing. You know what it is for real. That shit, them niggas hear me.
Tonight, a motorist pulled up to this intersection, yelled to me, "Has the killer been caught?" I told him no, and it shows you the level of concern here in Shaw caused by last night's shooting right here on the sidewalk behind me.
Alright, what's up everybody? We gotta talk about the DC drill scene that's been heating up. Most of the attention's been on Brooklyn drill and before that Chicago, but with DC rappers like No Savage and Walk Down Will getting millions of views consistently, people are starting to tune in.
DC drill? I'm gonna have to tap in with this. And the guy's name is Walk Down Will? That's crazy already. His name is Walk Down Will. So that means he's walking down on his ops. That's crazy.
It's been on Brooklyn drill and before that Chicago, but with DC rappers like No Savage and Walk Down Will getting millions of views consistently, people are starting to tune in. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the U.S., but it often goes under the radar since it's a small city in the DMV
Definitely
tri-state
goes
area.
under the radar
This is
too
the story
often.
of two neighborhoods that are 5 minutes from each other, 37th and Simple
5 minutes
City, and they
apart.
do not get along. Both of them are in the southeast D.C., and the tension is so bad that kids from both neighborhoods cannot be put in the same school. In 2019, the music escalated tensions. The rapper No Savage from 37th was heavily dissing his ops at a Simple City. At the same time, No Savage was putting on this other rapper from his area named Act the Clicker, who was going viral, getting hundreds of thousands of views because his content was only focused on disrespecting the dead folks of Simple City and dropping direct disses towards the rival rapper, Walk Down Will. And at the start of the new year last year, Act the Clicker was found dead outside the train station near Howard University after a drive-by in a white SUV that was caught on camera. The police say Act the Clicker was lured to the train station by a girl through DMs on Instagram, but the story gets more complicated.
He got set up by a chick, bro. That's crazy. Like, that should be like, if you from the hood, bro, you should know better than to get caught up and set up by these chicks, especially through the DM, man. Like, I don't understand why dudes get blinded by the pussy and they let that shit be their downfall. But like, come on, bro, you from the hood, you should know better. Like, especially somebody of that stature. He was known, popular, and dissing a bunch of dead people, so that's just crazy.
But months later, the police would arrest Walk Down Will, the rival rapper, as the main murder suspect, claiming he was the one who hacked into the girl's Instagram and set the whole thing up. 3 members of Walk Down's crew were arrested as—
Wait a minute. Hacked Shorty's Instagram to get at his op. That's some real next level shit right there. I never heard of that. How do you hack somebody's IG to lure them with a female? All right, now, see, it's different now. I didn't have the whole context. Now that we got the whole context, it makes a little bit more sense how the other guy got lured, but still, like, you should still feel like, yeah, your spider sense should be tingling when you get a DM from a shorty, and, you know, if it's too good to be true, guys, usually 9 times out of 10, it's too good to be true.
as well. But the case has more holes than a dartboard. A lot of folks close to the situation don't believe Walk Down did it. And since Act the Clicker's death, there's been shootings every week. 37th retaliating with drive-bys, and a Simple City kid who's just 16 years old was arrested for 4 murders and 7 attempts just months after Act the Clicker was killed. Now,
4
we're gonna get
bodies
into all
and
this,
7
but first
attempts?
we're blessed for the song of the day today from my guy Millies and Jim Jones. Let's go.
Where I'm from, they
I like that song.
Fireworks, my youngest.
Washington, D.C.'s got all the suits from both sides. That's where they go to make laws and budgets. Yet somehow in their own backyard, D.C. is number 6 in youth incarceration and number 2 in youth homelessness.
Wow. You would think that the capital, stuff like this wouldn't be prevalent, but that goes to show you, man, it doesn't matter. Also, I believe the CIA headquarters is in Langley, Virginia. The FBI. There's a lot of government buildings in Washington, D.C., so, you know, the fact that this stuff goes on, you would think that city would be a little bit more, you know, the crime wouldn't be as high as it is over there and the violence wouldn't be as high, but that goes to show you don't matter, man. You know, things can happen anywhere if the environment is festering with drugs and unemployment and stuff like that. This shit happens. It's normal, unfortunately.
They're always in the top 10 homicide rates in the country, despite being a small city of just 700,000 people. And since it's the federal capital, Washington is not considered a state, so residents don't got voting representation in Congress or in the Senate. Historically, DC's always been the pulse of the DMV area. It's got all the clubs, the malls, the sports teams, the birthplace of go-go music, which inspired artists like Wale and others. But in the late 2000s, early 2010s, go-go concerts were being shut down all over the city. The government viewed these parties and bands as inciters of violence, forcing clubs to shut down. A lot of the pioneers got locked up, silencing the scene. During that time though, the kids were on a different regime, instilling this regional drill sound that was going viral in the DMV area.
Fuck the system, we break every law in this bitch. I walk on my stick, don't ask me am I tight. When this bit hit the left quarter off at the light. DMX off the perky, try to spend every night.
That's Walk Down Will, considered to be one of the young pioneers of DC drill. And in order to understand this story, we're going to his neighborhood of Simple City in Southeast DC. Simple City's been in a brutal war with 37th, the neighborhood that's 5 minutes over from them, for many decades. Passed down from generation, and speaking to the people from there, nobody actually knows.
Passed down from generations, they've been at war with each other for decades. Look at all these generational curses that is going on. You know, it's crazy. Why do people have to inherit the beef of... They probably don't even know why they hate each other. That shit goes back, what, the 80s, 70s, and you beefing over some shit because, what, some guy 30 years ago hollered at some dude's chick, or like he smashed Shorty's chick and killed him, and then it's just a war. Like, it's just dumb shit, you know? And they only 5 minutes away from each other. Like, any other time, they probably would be cool, but since it's a generational thing, it just carries over, which is ridiculous.
Southeast DC. Simple City's been in a brutal war with 37th, the neighborhood that's 5 minutes over from them, for many decades. Passed down from generation, and speaking to the people from there, nobody actually knows what started it. In
Nobody
DC, they don't
knows.
color bang, it's no gangs really, just neighborhoods. Around 2014, 37th had people like Shy Glizzy with his record Awesome that was scorching hot all over the country. And then again in 2017, Shy Glizzy had the Grammy-nominated track Crew with Goldlink. Being that he was one of the few rappers out of DC to have a Billboard Hot 100 hit, Glizzy basically gave bragging rights to 37th, which is his home. But internal beef was brewing. Glizzy was having tensions with younger casts from his area, like No Savage and Young Jose, who thought that Shy wasn't doing enough for them or for 37th.
Say Glizzy can't come to the hood. Hey, who run 37? Okay.
Now you travel just 5 minutes over to Simple City. Around that time, 2016, 2017, they weren't doing too much musically, although Simple City is home to legends like Marvin Gaye. But one headline you'll probably remember revolves around the name OG Man Man.
New details about the Hampton
sounds
University
familiar.
student who fell to his death early this morning.
Investigators still piecing together what happened in Richmond. Here's Marissa Jasic.
Affiliated with Simple and hung around Simple City for protection, OG Man Man was a rapper who touched at least 1 million views in 2016 after filming this wild music video at the gravesite of his ops, violating the gravesite pouring alcohol all over. People like DJ Academics covered it. I remember Blackie Speaks made a video. This was all over the news. Well, OG Man ended up getting backdoored, murdered at a cookout in his home territory, basically. Even the Simple City folks who protected him weren't feeling what he was doing, said it was too extra. Regardless, the 37th and Simple City war raged.
So that was too extra, but the fact that any other rapper could diss they dead ops, basically disrespecting people that died and doing all kinds of shit, but that was too disrespectful. I think I've seen the video before, if I'm not mistaken, but if y'all want me to check it out, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, like, he got backdoored by the people that were supposedly supposed to protect him, and they weren't feeling that video because it was, in their eyes, too extreme. But where do we draw the line? Like, dissing the dead people? I mean, that's already disrespectful. Like, what else, you know? And every rapper is doing it nowadays, so I don't know. I don't get the logic with that one.
On all throughout 2017, 2018. Then No Savage emerged.
Rap niggas, that's why y'all don't get nowhere. Omari, that's why you ain't got no deals. That's why you ain't got nothing. You don't get nowhere off rapping, cause you niggas bitches.
This super energetic rapper from 37th who had the youth on lock. And after initial tension with elders like Shy Glizzy were swept under the rug, No Savage had a direct path towards being DC's hottest rapper. But the street shit was making its way into songs. Even before his rival Walk Down Will started rapping, No Savage had this song called Shots for Everybody, dissing Simple City in July of 2019.
Papa, you crazy for this one. We all the traffic searching for the ops. Nigga, don't tell about the drop.
Simple City was quick to respond over the same beat weeks later, flipping the title to Everybody Gets Shot. But Simple City didn't have a clear opposition in the booth to represent them on records and go against No Savage. That's when Walk Down Will emerged as Simple City's challenge to No Savage, dropping his first song in September of 2019 called Backdoor Locked.
She tried to give me some hands. She tried to backdoor me, now her nigga dead. See the blue and red lights, had to break from the feds. I've been in the streets, I can never be snapped.
Now he's just 19 years old, but Walk Down is widely regarded as the hottest new commodity out of DC, getting label meetings with Capitol Records, Alamo, and many others showing interest. Walk Down moved to Simple City from 501 at a young age after they tore down his housing complex. He was booked for robbery as a juvenile, but never completed probation. Police have been targeting Walk Down since the beginning, banning him from doing shows with Rod Wave and The Baby, labeling him a threat to the community. Of course, Walk Down's got a tough drill sound, but unlike a lot of his ops from 37th, Walk Down was not focused on direct disses. He was more about making good music. The same cannot be said for his main op, No Savage. No Savage even has a song on his 2020 mixtape called Fuck Simp, basically dissing the whole area, and that track has since been removed and is nowhere to be found on streaming services. All this set up for a brutal winter in 2019 when No Savage was promoting a rapper from 37th named Act the Clicker, who released 2 songs in November and December that would take the war to a new level. His song Straight Facts went viral around the DMV area at almost 500,000 views. In it, Act talks about smoking on Walk Down's dead homies. He goes on to say, "How's your name Walk Down but you run?" clearly taunting Walk Down and even questioning which area he's from. This gave Act the Clicker a lot of clout locally, but it also made him a prime target in the beef. And 2 days after releasing Straight Facts in December of 2019, one of Walk Down's homies found Act the Clicker on the train by himself. Now nobody got hurt, but it could've went way left. Act the Clicker himself said he wasn't strapped, which led his ops to taunt him, saying he must have been capping in his raps all along, joking that there must have been a curfew on guns if he didn't have it with him on the train. Several days later, Walk Down, who up until then was focused only on making good music and not dissing, decided to respond to the recent...
And that's the thing I've always talked about, is from when I hear rappers always just dissing, like focus on making good music. And lead, you know, every now and then, yeah, it's okay to diss, you know, that's part of the culture, but artists should be actively focusing on making good music that lasts long, that's timeless, instead of dissing each other, because that don't last. You know, the good music lasts, that's timeless.
Slew of disses coming from 37th by dropping his own song titled Directed to the Ops.
Yeah, and I'm thugging Yeah, niggas be capping, they put up my name in they songs. I don't know why these niggas keep dancing. He talking to bitches, so we got the drop on his house. We gon' pop up and he come up miss.
Christmas would go by, and the tension was reaching dangerous heights, with shootings happening every week. A few days into the new year 2020, Actor Clicka was DMing a girl. She told him to pick her up at the Shaw train station around 11:30 at night. Actor Clicka went uptown with one other person to Northwest DC near Howard University to meet this girl at Shaw train station. She told him she was outside, but when Actor Clicka arrived, they couldn't see her. So the friend went looking down the tunnel inside the station, and Actor Clicka waited outside. After a couple minutes, the friend returned from the tunnel and found Actor Clicka laying dead on the ground, shot in the head. The girl was nowhere to be found. On CCTV footage, you see a white SUV pull up quickly and begin firing, but nobody gets out the car and they speed off without any trace of who did it. Police and paramedics show up to the scene, and Actor Clicka was taken to the hospital where he later died from his wounds. He was only 18. Now a couple months would go by, and the police knew Actor Clicka's death was a targeted shooting, but they need proof. At the crime scene, they went through Actor Clicka's phone to find out why he was there and discovered those DMs with the girl. Somehow, those text combos were enough for DC police to put out an arrest warrant for Walk Down Will in March of 2020. Only evidence they got, allegedly Walk Down did have access to the girl's Instagram account. But the problem is Walk Down is one of many people who had access to this girl's IG account. Later that month, the police were desperately looking for Walk Down, who, as it turns out, had just flown down to Cali, where he posted these pics to IG. This led investigators to geolocate him via surveillance footage and the IG pictures. But when they arrived to the neighborhood in Cali where he took the photos, they couldn't locate him, and later found out he was back in DC shooting visuals for the music video Warning, which is why the intro is literally the police pulling up to the spot and arresting Walk Down right then and there. And he's been locked up ever since. In DC, they do not do bond, and because he never completed his probation as a minor, Walk Down will stay in prison until his trial ends, which, knowing how the system works, could take another year to even start the trial. But the case against Walk Down remains weak. The police have been unable to ID a suspect from the security footage at the train station the night of the murder. Even so, Walk Down has an alibi. Turns out he was shot the same night that Actor Clicka was killed, and it wasn't from gunfire between him and Actor Clicka was unarmed the night he died. Now the prosecutors waved that off. They claim Walk Down shot himself in the right hand to create an alibi, which sounds ridiculous. Nevertheless, the prosecutors charged him, and they now have 9 months to indict him, so sometime in February
that case is weak.
The next update. But right now, Walk Down is in good spirits and convinced he'll be home soon. That's it for this video.
Alright, man, that's an interesting video. I didn't know it was like that in Washington, D.C. I am familiar with Shy Glizzy. But the scene down there, I gotta check it out, see, you know, what it sounded like, how's the music, most importantly. And that case they got the case that they got on Walk Down Will, I don't believe it's gonna lead anywhere. It's not a strong case. It's interesting to know that they don't have bond over there in DC. Like, that's crazy. Like, he probably has the money to come out, but you know, just because the way the system is over there, they won't allow him to come out. And yeah, like that case, I don't think is strong enough because you got to have actual facts, evidence to prove he was there, that he's the one that set it up. And it doesn't look like, you know, that's the case. But yeah, if you guys want me to check out any of the music mentioned in this video, let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Dollars. I'm out.